Hello and welcome back to Salisbury and Sweetnam Sports Podcast. Unfortunately, there isn't such a special guest as last week. However, we would like to express our great thanks to Peter Fury for that interview last week. We feel it went quite well, so I hope you enjoyed it. Welcome aboard, James, on a very special day for James. It's his 1 year anniversary since he's been with his new girlfriend, Roxanne.
Yeah, me and Roxanne get along well. Roxanne Mitchell, to be precise there.
Yeah, Roxy Mitchell, yeah. Great tattoo.
Yep. And I'm going down to Albert Square next weekend to celebrate the occasion. Anyway, going away from that curveball, we cover a variety of sports on the show, so you can go directly to the description to have a look at whatever you want. Yeah, as you said, absolutely fantastic experience having Peter Fury on last week. It was a new experience for me getting to interview somebody who obviously we respect a lot and have a lot of admiration for the wonders he's done with the career of Tyson Fury and now with Hughie Fury.
Here. I'd like to echo that.
Anyway, wrestling hit Saudi Arabia, Jeddah to be precise. Is it fantastic that wrestling's hitting new grounds in Saudi Arabia?
It is. It's always good to expand the fan base. I just hope that the superstars on the show got a Saudi Arabian breakfast, as I've described in previous weeks.
Yeah, variety of dips, I believe, was the standout.
Yeah, just it's basically like naan bread, but a variety of different dips. Absolutely fantastic.
Chutneys and such.
I don't know. I've never been.
Anyway, first of all, it's a bit hilarious actually how WWE have sort of gone overboard with this whole women's revolution thing, and then they went to Saudi Arabia and women weren't allowed to compete. They were allowed in the stadium, but they had to be accompanied by a male guardian.
I've been campaigning for that in football over here for a long time, but I can't see it coming into fruition anytime soon.
Yeah, no women and no half and half scarves are Adam's two rules of football.
I think women ought to be shopping and shopping on a Saturday.
We are now the most sexist podcast out there at the moment. You dirty, disgusting man.
Fair enough.
Anyway, kicking it off, the greatest Royal Rumble 50 men went to war to survive getting thrown over the top rope. Did you see Titus O'Neil fall over?
Yes, just to clarify, unfortunately I was at a family function on Friday, so I haven't caught much of this, but as you know, I'm an absolutely avid wrestling man, and yes, I have seen Titus O'Neil tripping up in Jeddah, which is, of course, of great amusement for me.
He actually fell so badly he ended up underneath the ring. Yeah, so
absolutely fantastic.
So I still can't believe Titus is still making a living out of this sport, but congratulations to him, and that provided a bit of humour for the evening. Yep. Anyway, a few returning legends. Chris Jericho for one. Glad to see Chris back.
Break the walls down.
He's the best in the world at everything he does.
And you just made the list.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Hornswoggle made a return, the Irish Leprechaun. Bit gutted, would have rather had Finlay. But yeah, there was a few returning legends. Mark Emery as well, but not as much as you would have liked for a 50-man rumble. Braun Strowman eventually became the victor.
Yes. Quite uninspiring, but you know what? It's just one of them.
Anyway, the Universal Championship was on the line. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar retained his title because Roman Reigns speared Brock through the steel cage and Brock's body touched the floor first, which I think was a botch because usually it's meant to be your feet touching the floor first, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. However, always nice to see Brock Lesnar, who is a legend of this sport, defeat Roman Reigns.
Ladder match for the Intercontinental Champion. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, The Miz and Samoa Joe competed. And unfortunately, Seth Rollins won that match. You're a bit gutted for The Miz?
I am gutted for The Miz, because The Miz is absolutely incredible at what he does, being an artist in the world of the bait industry. But I don't mind Finn Balor, actually. I think he'll be a decent wrestler in years to come.
Yeah, Finn Balor's good. Samoa Joe's also excellent, considering he's about £712. So well done to Samoa Joe on an excellent performance.
Completely agree.
Yeah. Next up, the dream match, the rematch, the one that WWE hardcores love. Unfortunately, I'm a few years off being described as one of them, so I have absolutely no interest in Nakamura versus AJ Styles. This time, it finished in a count-out.
Yeah, just one of those matches that for me and James, who like to reminisce and watch all the greats of our era, so to speak. Nakamura and Styles are nowhere near that for us. So yeah, quite uninspiring.
Next up, Jinder Mahal, the hometown hero, even though apparently he was born in Toronto, but they don't care, he was the hometown hero of Saudi Arabia. He took on the legend Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy won the match as he rightly should.
Hometown hero? I'm pretty sure he's Indian, isn't he? Jinder Mahal.
He is, but it's all that general area.
Ooh. What's coming across a bit racist from the world wrestling entertainment industry now? Livid. He's Indian, not Saudi Arabian.
And Kofi Kingston was Ghanan, not Jamaican. Two different continents.
Couldn't agree more.
Anyway, yeah, there was also a horrific botch in that. Have you seen that?
I have seen that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Basically, Jeff Hardy sort of throws himself off the top turnbuckle and to find out that his opponent's stood on the floor. But when Hardy lands, his opponent actually got hit and sort of jumps to the floor like a clown.
Yeah, collapses like a sandcastle, which was the first collapsing thing that came to my mind.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, it must be outrageously difficult to time all those moves.
Oh, yeah. Look, they're extremely skilled men.
Anyway, Bray Wyatt, or Husky Harris as he's also known, and Matt Hardy defeated Sheamus and Cesaro for the tag team titles, who Sheamus been in and around the tag team picture for way too long.
Yeah, absolutely. In actual fact, I think there's two men in that match who are of real quality. And that's Bray Wyatt and Sheamus. I think they both ought to be around that world level more than tag team level.
Anyway, then another tag team match: the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos. The Bludgeon Brothers, two men that enjoy slapping each other in the face, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They defeated the two Samoans.
I thought the Usos were Samoan.
Yeah, they defeated the two Samoans.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I've completely lost the plot there. Yeah, well done to the Bludgeons.
Cedric Ender defeated a budget Rey Mysterio and Kalisto for the Cruiserweight Championship. Then we move on to the big one, which weirdly was on first. But John Cena took on Triple H. It lasted for half an hour, and John Cena won the match. And the ever gracious John Cena gave a big thank you to the Saudi Arabian fans.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see two legends go hard at it for half an hour. I mean, we complained at WrestleMania after The Undertaker and Cena lasted under 10 minutes, but it's refreshing to see two legends of the sport go to war for half an hour.
Absolutely fantastic. And then another legend went to war for about 20 odd minutes, proving he could do a slightly longer match than he did at WrestleMania. The Undertaker took on Rusev in a casket match. I would have liked to have seen The Undertaker versus Chris Jericho, which was rumoured that would have been a dream match, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Two of my greatest stars in my lifetime, but unfortunately, it wasn't to be.
Yeah, so he took on Rusev, and I cried if Rusev had won that match. Luckily, justice was done, and The Undertaker defeated the Bulgarian, slightly overweight, Dimitar Berbatov.
He's not bad looking though, is he? Nicely tanned, nice. He's got one of those really nice sort of hair on the body.
Like Ryan Giggs?
Yes, but he's a bit too hairy. Whereas Rusev's got that good mix, good blend.
Right, so hair's something you look for?
Yeah, in men, absolutely.
What about your missus? Has she got hair or...?
No comment.
Thank you very much. Anyway, here's a lovely little story about wrestling. Did you know... What's Andy Murray's mum called?
Judy.
Judy Murray once walked in on Andy and Jamie assaulting each other in the bedroom. They had all the blankets laid out and the lampshade was swinging. She caught them in the midst of a ladder match.
That's tremendous. I'm thinking the lampshade was the title.
It was the title, yeah.
That's class. That really is good.
And then, lastly, slightly saddening news: WWE Hall of Famer Bruno Sammartino unfortunately passed away. So we'd just like to say a big rest in peace to him.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Sad news. And then moving on to the football, and as a man who follows Arsenal home and away every single week, are you absolutely devastated by the news that Arsene Wenger has decided to call it a day?
Just to clarify, like I seem to do every single week, I do not follow Arsenal home and away every week. I follow Preston North End every week. But one thing's for sure is that Arsene Wenger is an absolute legend of this sport. He's an absolute legend of the Premier League. And Arsenal will be hugely indebted to Arsene Wenger for years to come. The job he's done at that club is quite simply phenomenal, transitioning them from a club who were always knocking on the door, a bit like Tottenham are now, to an absolute world giant to what they are now. And it's a real shame to see him go, but it is time to go. But for me, I can't see Arsenal being anywhere other than mid-table in years to come because they've lost Wenger and, of course, they lost David Dean about 10 years ago. So the club's in a bit of turmoil for me.
Do you think he jumped before he was pushed?
I don't think they've ever sacked him. I think the board were content with sort of the money coming in the bank, but I think he's got an immense amount of pride, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him take on a job such as like a PSG job and the France job potentially in the future.
Do you think now it's time to sort of, now the dust is settled, we know he's going, we can sort of focus on what he did achieve rather than the last few years of unachievement?
Well, absolutely. I'd urge all Arsenal fans to give Arsene Wenger the way out he deserves, which is huge admiration from everyone at Arsenal Football Club. And I think the fans will do that. Look, if Arsenal win the Europa League, it'll be an absolute celebration of Arsene Wenger's time at Arsenal. Let's not forget 3 league titles and ample other trophies such as the FA Cup. So yeah, I think Arsenal fans are quite sort of knowledgeable in that regard and will give Arsene Wenger a good send off.
Yeah. Arsenal had another saddening moment at the weekend when Manchester United nicked a late victory and defeated them 2-1.
Yeah, I can't claim to have watched it because I was playing cricket, and I'm absolutely suffering for it now. I could do with a wheelchair and my hamstrings are in absolute tatters. However, I have watched the highlights, and from those highlights, I thought Arsenal were hugely unlucky. They gave a huge effort considering the 11 they put out on the field, and were quite unlucky to concede so late in the day to that man Marouane.
Yeah, he gets a lot of stick, Marouane Fellaini, but he does get a key goal every now and again.
I honestly believe he's a fantastic impact sub, Marouane Fellaini. And the job he does isn't recognised amongst a lot of supporters. When he comes off the bench, he can give flick-ons and hold the ball up, which is absolutely key, especially if you need that late goal. And he pops up with it.
You hit the nail on the head really there. He is an impact sub. Unfortunately, that impact can sometimes be negative. You never really know what he's going to do when he gets on the field, Marouane.
Well, no, but normally it's positive from what I've seen of Marouane.
Moving on to maybe something that could be positive for Fleetwood Town. Joey Barton's taken over. What do you make of this appointment?
I think it's an extremely bizarre appointment. I think Joey Barton's extremely knowledgeable.
And a dick.
Yeah, complete cock, but ultimately knows the sport inside out. It could go one of two ways. He could do a fantastic job and be a great manager in years to come, or it could go horribly, horribly wrong. Yeah. I just hope he's not punting on the match result.
Yeah, could you imagine Joey Barton's half-time team talks?
Well, not really. He's the sort of man to lose the dressing room quite quickly, in my opinion, so hopefully it goes well for Joey Barton, hopefully, because I actually quite like him.
He's a man who put a cigarette out in somebody's eye, a controversial character, the sort of right man to lead a football club.
If he came into Preston, I wouldn't be overly pleased, put it that way. But Fleetwood are in sort of that transitional period after losing Rosler and Alexander in previous years. So I wish Barton all the best and Fleetwood all the best.
Mo Salah has won the PFA Player of the Year award. Are you happy with that?
I can't say I've got any real opinion on it in terms of like a grudge against it. I think Mohamed Salah's had a wonderful, wonderful season in the Premier League. It just proves that you don't have to win the league to win the PFA Player of the Year. So that's really good. Well done, PFA.
Yeah, maybe the second greatest Egyptian to grace the Premier League. Of course, coming in second to Amir Zaki.
Amir Zaki, absolutely.
Who scored a couple of sensational goals against Liverpool, ironically.
It's a real shame that he didn't play for anywhere other than Wigan, because Wigan are dreadful.
I think he had a loan spell at Hull before going back to Egypt.
Yeah, spot on. And now he's a taxi driver.
Right.
I didn't know that, I just hazarded a guess. He might actually be one of those sorts of shark stoppers at Sharm El Sheikh.
What's a shark stopper?
Well, just a person who tries to save people from sharks.
Oh, right. I can imagine, like, working at SeaWorld and, like, feeding dolphins. Or maybe even as a chemist.
Yeah.
A few nice jobs that I hope Amir's doing well.
Yeah, all the best.
Anyway, moving on from Amir Zaki. Oh, no, sorry. Back onto Mo Salah. Did he try to assault a Stoke player at the weekend?
I don't know.
If I completely made that up.
You might not have, but I was travelling to Bramall Lane for Preston's tie with Sheffield United over the weekend, so I can't say I caught that match, but I don't know. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, Luke's got it on video here. Who's he punching in the face here, Luke? He's throwing a left hook, is Mo Salah.
Yeah, he does.
Martin's Indy received a left hook off Mo Salah.
It does seem to me like Mohamed Salah has flipped out at Martin's Indy, but I don't think the FA have taken retrospective action, so...
It's not like a Kieran Dyer scrap.
No, definitely not.
And Leroy Sané, PFA Young Player of the Year. What's your view?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Manchester City supporters haven't walked to him yet, which is bizarre. But no, yeah, he got a good year and attacked fullbacks far and wide all season. So well done, Leroy. Hopefully, he has an awful World Cup because he's German and not English.
Oh God, we've got a dog issue here. One dog growling, another dog.
They're brawling in the studio.
A Bull Terrier and a Jack Russell in heavy arm combat.
Collide.
Two worlds collide.
Racist.
As James Arthur once said. Moving on. A great result for Liverpool. They defeated the Italians Roma 5-2, and they've almost guaranteed a place in the Champions League final.
Yeah, pretty much, but they won't be impressed with the 2 goals that they conceded. No, I seem to say it every time Liverpool play in Europe. Teams on the continent just come and play that high line against them. And Liverpool are always going to score a lot of goals, which they proved. I thought Roma pretty much got it right for the first 20 minutes, but after that, it was absolutely one-way traffic. So well done to Liverpool, and good luck in Kiev.
Yeah, Klopp's right-hand man, Buvac, has left him after 17 years. Do you think this will have an impact on Liverpool in these final few games, and most importantly, the Champions League final?
Well, it's quite bizarre, isn't it, that he's walked out. Liverpool claiming that it's due to personal reasons, but I don't necessarily buy that. I think there's been a bust up. In terms of the near future, it won't have much impact because obviously there's a lot of people at Liverpool that could assist Jurgen Klopp. But in the long run, yes, most definitely it will affect Liverpool because number 2s have that sort of knack of coming up with plans, helping players improve, helping the gaffer on match day. So yeah, in the near future, not necessarily in the long term, yes, it will most definitely affect Jurgen Klopp.
And another horrible incident in football. Some Roma fans made the decision to stab some of the Liverpool fans. What's your sort of view in the way football's going and the hooliganism within fans, and most importantly, this current issue? Well,
it was sort of Italians sharpening the end of the belts and flinging them around and hitting people over them, wasn't it? Yeah, there's absolutely no time for it in football. Roma obviously hate Liverpool from the 1980s after beating them in the European Cup final, but that's no excuse. Yeah, kick it out.
Is that not for racism?
It is for racism, but it's equally apt for hooliganism.
Well, I suppose you're right. Anyway, second Champions League final, Real Madrid.
Semi-final. But yeah.
Second semi-final. Real Madrid won 2-1 against Bayern Munich. A good away win going into the next leg of the...
It is. And they were prolific at Real Madrid because they were open as arseholes all throughout that game.
Wow, okay.
Bayern Munich could have had about 8, but only scored once, and Real scored twice because they were prolific and took the chances. So, look, this tie's not done, but Real have a serious advantage going into the second leg.
Iniesta has made the decision to leave Barcelona at the end of the year. He's been a legend for the club. Do you think he'll be sadly missed?
Yeah. Look, he's one of the best players of our generation. Absolutely. And he's going for one last payday out in China, so good luck to him. But yeah, an absolute class act at Barcelona.
Yeah, what do you make of clubs in China going massive money-wise in some of these elite players? Do you think it's a good thing, or...?
Well, I think it's good at the moment for getting the Chinese sort of up for football. Like they're turning up to see names, which is a good starting point. But obviously they need to sort of bring in their own youth and stuff like that.
Oxlade-Chamberlain's out of the World Cup. Is it a big blow for England?
It's a blow for England because he started to play a lot better under Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool. But Is it the end of the world? No. Will he be missed? Yes.
And Accrington Stanley are the League Two winners. Are you proud of Accrington?
Absolutely terrific achievement. I'd like to congratulate everybody at the football club, John Coleman, Jimmy Bell, etc., and all the players and the chairman Andy Holt. It's an absolutely fantastic achievement on absolutely no money whatsoever. And all the best in League One. I personally think they'll be absolutely fine. A really good club, Accrington. And it's good to see them getting record attendance at the weekend against Lincoln. That's good. Just over 4,500, something like that.
Very impressive.
So well done to Stanley. And yeah, also my team North End in the hunt going into the last game of the season.
Yeah, do you think they'll make it? Obviously, they have to beat Burton Albion, and Barnsley have to defeat Derby, I believe,
yes,
to keep you in the playoff hunt.
Yes, yeah, two teams that can get in the playoffs, us and Derby. Obviously, the Rams hold the ascendancy, really ought to get there, but hopefully we are there. Really exciting. Look, if I was offered at the start of the season that North End would be in with a shout of the playoffs with one game to go, I'd have absolutely snapped your hand off before you could say snap.
So do you think they'll do it? Do you think they get that win over Burton? And do you think Barnsley can beat Derby?
I think we can beat Burton. Look, anybody can beat anybody in the Championship. It's that title league. I personally wouldn't have thought that the Tykes would have beaten Brentford at the weekend, but they did, and took Brentford away from any playoff hopes. So yeah, good luck to Barnsley, and most definitely a supporter of Barnsley and Preston North End this weekend.
The most you've ever supported Barnsley Football Club in your life.
And will ever.
Yeah. Last one on Accrington Stanley. How do you see them doing in League One next season?
I think they'll be absolutely fine. I think they've got the foundation to go on and recruit well and to build a squad to be alright in League One. It's not that big a step up.
Yeah. And I believe Blackburn have been promoted back into the Championship. Are you looking forward to an away day there?
Yeah, Blackburn and Wigan are up. I don't like going to either ground, if I'm honest. I think they're both really poor away days. Wigan is...
had a lovely time at Blackburn away last season.
No, yeah, great day. But, yeah, we were on the piss, basically, weren't we? But, yeah, I don't like Blackburn away. I think it's a dirty, horrible away day. However, Wigan is the second most soulless club in England, closely followed... just in front of Milton Keynes Dons, who got relegated from League One at the weekend. That was terrific to see.
Lovely away day, Milton Keynes Dons as well.
It is, but they're a complete franchise and need to liquidate as soon as possible.
Adam wishing clubs down the pot.
Well, yes.
Thank you very much. Anyway, last one. Islam Slimani has been arrested for violent conduct. What a shame. Any place for that in football?
No.
Thank you for the in-depth analysis. Moving on to the mixed martial arts. I apologise greatly for completely forgetting about Atlantic City a few weeks ago. Just going to recap it extremely quickly. Kevin Lee mauled Edson Barboza in a sort of Khabib-like performance. He moves on towards a world title shot. Very nearly came unstuck, I believe, in the third round when Edson Barboza kicked him in the head. And you've seen that wobble. And it's one of the worst of all time. God knows how he stayed up. It was like watching Craig Revel Horwood on the dance floor.
Yeah, it's the worst wobble I've seen since David Hay connected with Valuev's temple that night. Yes, one of the worst wobbles I've ever seen. Probably the worst wobble I've ever seen. I can't believe that he's alive still. Never mind, went on to win the fight.
Yeah, his legs looked as if they're broken in about 12 places as he moved around. Quite gracefully.
Smoothly.
When your legs don't work like they used to before, in the words of Ed Sheeran.
Rest in peace, Ed Sheeran, by the way.
Ed Sheeran's not dead. He's still writing songs. Anyway, moving on. Co-main event. Two legends, Frankie Edgar and Cub Swanson, took each other on. Frankie coming off an outrageous knockout to Brian Ortega. Of course, that huge uppercut. I believe you saw that one. It was bad, weren't it?
Yeah, sure.
And he defeated Cub Swanson, so the gamble paid off. Of course, Cub also coming off a loss. The gamble paid off for Frankie. He's back in the title picture. Although this time the gamble paid off, are you worried about fighters who take on big challenges straight after coming off knockout defeats?
Yes, I am worried about that. But it just shows heart and determination, which is also what I look for in a fighter. So I'd wish him all the best.
Thank you very much. Fights announced for UFC 226. Brian Ortega, the man who knocked out both Frank Yeager and Cub Swanson, steps up to take on Max Holloway. Max, of course, one of the very best in the business, puts everything together very well, breaks you down with very effective striking. Brian Ortega, of course, a wizard in jiu-jitsu, and it's a very interesting fight, and I look forward to that on the undercard of Miocic and Cormier. And also on the card, Francis Ngannou takes on the Black Beast, Derek Lewis.
Racist?
It's his nickname. Oh. In a fight with very, very, very big hitters.
Big men with big sticks.
What?
Big penises.
I'd be exceptionally surprised if the Black Beast didn't have a big penis, but that's not the point of this fight. We just like to see big men hit each other in the face.
With their penis.
Derek Lewis will not be cock-slapping Francis Ngannou at UFC 226. Unless it takes a very, very weird turn. I don't know if they could sell that on pay-per-view.
Stranger things have happened in sport.
You know what? I'm not sure they have. Anyway, moving on. Once again, we have things this week of fighters calling out fighters from other sports. Tony Bellew's been calling out Michael Bisping again. Apparently he's had meetings with UFC officials about a potential crossover fight. Are you sick of this idea of fighters switching sports?
Yeah, it's just infuriating. It's a bit like rugby league and union, isn't it? Like sort of jumping sport to sport, infuriating. Just stick to one, and if you're good at it, fantastic. Just carry on being good at it. Bellew,
an excellent boxer, Bisping, an excellent mixed martial artist. They would not beat each other in the opposite sport. They should just stick to their roots and do what they do best, because it would be devastating for Bellew if he stepped into a cage with Bisping. He would be hurt severely. And I quite like Tony Bellew, but let's not beat around the bush. He'd get hurt. Anyway, moving on to Nick Diaz. The return. It's very, very strong rumblings that Nate Diaz, his brother, and a legend of this game, could be returning soon, so keep an eye out for that. Bellator 198 took place this weekend. Frank Mir took on Fedor Emelianenko in a quarter-final of the Grand Prix. Fedor won in, I think, about 55 seconds, one of the most entertaining 55-second fights I've seen. Mir put Fedor on the deck, and then Fedor got up and caught Mir with an uppercut. Mir went to sleep. Fedor now steps up into the semi-final to take on the American gangster and one of the best trash talkers to walk the planet, Chael Sonnen. Look really forward to that into the semi-final. No date set yet, but it's fantastic that Bellator are producing big fights. And Adam, is it good to see other promotions coming through so the UFC aren't monopolising the sport?
It is good, and it's great to see like journalists like G.A. Davis getting on board with this.
One of the best.
Yeah, so that's good, and it's also fantastic to see Aaron Chalmers getting his chance on the big stage. What a class act. I will not fancy taking a big hook off Aaron Chalmers, that's for sure.
Yes, Aaron Chalmers, the Geordie Shore star, is getting his shot at Bellator 200.
The biggest show ever from Bellator, and Aaron Chalmers
has made the card. The main card.
Superb. All the best, by the way.
Yeah, good luck to whatever Aaron does. Well done for giving it a go. Lastly, a fighter named Nick Newell is really working hard to get his shot in the UFC. I think he's 14-1, the only loss coming to Justin Gaethje outside the UFC. You know, it's been a bit of controversy whether he should be allowed to fight in the UFC. I'm personally massively behind him. And the issue is, Nick Newell only has one arm. But he's still very capable of competing with the elite. Of course, his only loss coming to Justin Gaethje, who's in and around the top 5, top 6 lightweights in the division. The issue is that people think, is it fair to stick somebody with one arm in the UFC? I personally think, if he can do the job, why not? What's your view, Adam?
Yes, absolutely. Which raises another question, really. Should UFC be introduced at the Paralympics?
What, Paralympic UFC? Well, I suppose they could do it, because Nick's only got one arm.
Yeah. I think that's a fantastic idea. In fact, that's a new TV show.
No, we're not making.
Yes.
We're not doing like a UFC for undateables.
No, this is good. This is a good idea.
I feel like it's good, but I feel like it's
problem.
No, stop. Problem fighting. It's just such an offensive title.
Well, what about problem people do battle?
That is horrific. that may be the most offensive thing you've said, and I can't see problem people do battle being picked up by any network. Although the idea of putting it in the Paralympics, I don't think is that bad an idea.
I personally think the TV show would be a massive hit, and I'm sure Channel 5 would take it.
It could be a hit, and Channel 5 will take anything. But I still think Ofcom would have serious issues with that, especially that title. You couldn't be making more of a mockery of them with that title. I think Paralympic UFC could be nice.
How about problem people battle on ice?
No, I think yeah, it will be a hit. But I think the word problem is the issue here.
It's the problem.
Yeah. Sway away from the word problem would be the advice of mine.
Disabled people do battle.
Why can't we just have Paralympic fighting?
That's fine, but like it is a TV program.
Yeah, we can't have a gladiator, like disabled
Now
gladiator.
we're talking.
Yeah, but how far are you going to take this? We'll end up... No!
Problem gladiators.
Yeah, but then we'll end up like problem total wipeout, and you can't use the word problem for a start. The word problem needs to be evaporated. It's extremely offensive towards them.
To who?
Well, I don't think the parent of a child with educational needs would be happy with their son being called a problem.
I personally don't think that the parents would have a say if the problem person was...
No, you can't call them problem people.
I've got it. Handicaps do battle.
In America, I think you get away with that. I don't think you get away with that over here. I feel like it's going to take a lot of marketing, your show, and I feel the problem thing is an issue here. You can't call them that.
Handicapped people take on able-bodied...
No! Well, that's just Nick Newell going into the UFC, and then we've not even got a show. It's just the UFC.
Well, yeah, but like in terms of a television program, this is going off. This is a series that might even make ITV.
ITV are not picking that up in a million years. ITV censor out the bulk of Britain's Got Talent. They're not picking up problem people do battle. Let's just sway away from the problem people. Nick Newell's quality at what he does. Good luck to him in the future. And yes, it would be nice for him to do his work in the UFC. He deserves his shot. End of. Anyway, horse racing this week. Talk to me about Punchestown, whatever.
Yeah, Punchestown Festival took place this week. Well, last week, should I say.
We're going to do now problem horse racing.
No, because horses aren't problemed. They're not well, they are handicapped, but not in the same way. Anyway, that's a completely different matter. Let's talk Punchestown. Last week, the Irish festival over in Punchestown, and it was an absolutely fantastic festival to watch, really, I thought. Willie Mullins came to his absolute own. Cheltenham was all about Gordon Elliott, Jigginstown. But this week at Punchestown was all about Willie Mullins. It was about $500,000 away from Gordon Elliott in terms of the Irish Trader Championships before the off at Punchestown, and he's absolutely blitzed Elliott this week and has secured the title. So well done to Willie Mullins. A couple of standout moments was the race involving Monolly, Alboom Photo, Finian's Oscar, etc. Monolly looked to be travelling beautifully, and he came down at the second last, enabling Alboom Photo to look like he was going to go on and win the race. Finian's Oscar was chasing him down. However, Alboom Photo went flying out to the right. Paul Townend took him out to the right and took out Finian's Oscar. So those two horses were out the race, leaving a 16-1 winner. So well done to the 16-1 winner, who was trained by Gordon Elliott, incidentally. Anyway, yeah, Sam Crow fell. I couldn't quite believe my eyes. Sam Crow, the absolute gazelle in equine form, came down along with Mellon in the same race, leaving Super Sunday to go on and win it. That was a nightmare. But anyway, Footpad was foot perfect yet again, won by about 8 lengths, so well done to Footpad, mine and James's favourite horse at the moment.
My favourite horse is Here We Go.
Anyway, yes, and also at Sandown on Saturday, we saw the return of the Queen Mother Champion Chase winner, Altior. It was a scintillating performance yet again, and won quite easily. So well done to Altior, well done to Nicky Henderson and co, well done to Willie Mullins over in Punchestown, and that is racing.
No, it's not. Did you catch Sam Crow versus Mellon?
I I did, and like I said, they both fell at the same time.
Oh, did you actually cover that?
I did. Yeah.
Sorry for zoning out during your horse racing coverage. Anyway, moving on to the boxing. We've got a big one this weekend, so to speak. I don't feel it's caught the imagination like it did the first time around. But we've got the rematch, Bellew versus Haye. They go at it again at the O2 Arena. What's your opinion on the fight? Has it got you buzzing? And then who do you think wins?
Look, I'm not as excited as I was for the first time because I thought the trash talk was brilliant. I really enjoyed the build up to the first fight, but I wasn't necessarily taking it seriously as in two men having a fight. I expected Haye to win the fight quite comfortably first time, but I enjoyed the build-up, so I was really looking forward to the fight.
Yeah,
on this occasion, obviously, I'm not necessarily absolutely up in arms about the build-up and stuff like that, but what I am quite excited to see is the return of Haye. Because this time, obviously, Haye's got a point to prove. He lost to Bellew last time, whether injured or not. He got beat, he got stopped. So this time, Haye has to come out and Haye has to put on a show and defeat Tony Bellew. Whereas Tony Bellew is extremely confident after defeating Haye first time. There's no doubt in the Bomber's mind that he will beat Haye. So yeah, intriguing fight ahead.
It's very difficult to pick, I feel, at this stage. I think this is one of the most important weigh-ins in a long time. I feel if David Haye comes in the same sort of shape he did last time, where he wasn't physically fit and he piled on way too much muscle, as Peter Fury told us last week, I think Haye loses again. Injury or not, I think Bellew would outbox him over 12. Apparently, though, Haye's working very good under Ismail Salah, so maybe he'll be near his best. But I think Bellew's extremely confident this time round. And maybe his style's a little wrong for David Haye. What do you think?
Yeah, I know you can't necessarily tell through the whistle and flute, so to speak, but I think David Haye's in a lot better shape. He doesn't look as pumped up. He hasn't been training on yachts and sort of wanking off the Popeye.
Cocktails in Miami.
And this time around, obviously the Bomber trains hard with Dave Caldwell. He'll be absolutely fine, good shape. But no, I think Haye will come in much differently. He'll have a game plan, obviously. Not just to knock you out in the first three.
He was windmilling bizarrely, weren't he, last time?
I'm going Haye.
You're going Haye. What do you make of Ismail Salas as a trainer? Of course, he trains the great Jorge Linares. Do you feel he'll have had a positive influence on the Haymaker?
Absolutely. And I think being in the same gym as Linares will help Haye. Because obviously Linares is an extremely classy man. In and out of the ring, incidentally. But anyway, I think he's a good addition to Haye's team, or Haye's a good addition to his team, should I say, or both. I personally think he's the better of the two trainers.
Yeah, Ismail Salas very, very good. Dave Caldwell a good trainer too. So I think you're right in saying that we've got two very good trainers.
Yes.
Going head to head this weekend. Right, my prediction. I believe if Haye's anywhere near his best, Haye probably wins the fight. If Haye's anywhere near the shape he was last time, I think Bellew outboxes him over 12.
I agree. My prediction's Haye round 10.
Yeah. It's difficult because it's very tough to predict because I don't know what Haye's going to turn up. I'm going to go with Bellew right now, but I might change my mind come weigh-in night.
I'm going to give my assurances. I'm going to give my opinion without Haye's assurance at the weigh-in. If my opinion changes, I will express it over the Twitter feed.
Yeah,
right. That's Will James.
Yeah, right now I'm rolling with Bellew, and I quite like Bellew too, and I prefer him out of the two fighters. Next, absolutely fantastic that we won't just have to listen to Carl Froch this weekend. Paulie Malignaggi's back. He's commentating on the fight. Isn't it fantastic that we're going to get a bit of non-biased commentary this weekend?
Yes, absolutely, it's good. I like Malignaggi on comms. I also like Mr. Moore outside the ring. Nelson's a clown. I like Smith. Froch is a clown, but a great fighter.
Yeah. I feel with commentators that you sort of have two separate things. You have the knowledgeable ones and the ones that go off.
Especially in boxing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily football.
Yeah. And I feel that why I like Paulie so much is that he's maybe the only one that does both.
Yeah. He has that fine line, does Malignaggi.
Yeah.
He's one of those that hasn't been out the ring long at all, so can speak from experience extremely well. And also, obviously, extremely knowledgeable in his trade.
Yeah, very hyped up Paulie Malignaggi. Yeah. I think he has a hint of ADHD, which is always fantastic if you want to see somebody get really into it.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up, Paul Butler gets another shot at the world title. He's fighting for the vacant IBF bantamweight title. It's against Rodriguez, who's meant to be a huge knockout artist. Is it fantastic to see Paul back in the world title picture? He's had a very stop-start career under Frank Warren when he had 6 round after 6 round after 6 round after losing his world title to Zolani Tete. He's finally getting another shot, and it's good to see.
I like to see people never give up on their dream, and that's exactly what Paul Butler's done. So I've got huge admiration for Paul, and I'll be supporting him.
Yeah, big task against Rodriguez. He hits very hard. He's knocking people out for fun. And I'd say where, but I've completely forgotten his nationality. It's South America, but I can't remember where.
It doesn't matter overly.
Yeah. Tough task for Paul, but he's a very slick, very talented boxer, and hopefully he can get the job done. And now a little fun fight for the card. John Ryder, Jamie Cox. Should be a war. Who wins?
Cox.
Cox. World level still, Jamie?
Yes.
More, please.
He's a good fighter. He'll have too much.
Thank you very much. John coming off a great win against Patrick Nielsen, but Jamie pushed George Crow. I know it only lasted 4 rounds, but in those 4 rounds, Jamie was very competitive with George before he got caught by the body shot. So I'd probably agree with you. I think Jamie probably wins. Final fight we're going to discuss on the card. Lenroy Thomas, the Commonwealth champion, coming off a draw to Dave Allen, takes on, I was going to say young, but he's actually quite old. He's 32 now. Joe Joyce, the Olympic silver medalist. I think Joe probably breaks Lenroy Thomas down in the mid-rounds. How do you see it going?
I think Joyce wins the fight. I'm a bit sort of uninspired, really. I really wanted to see the White Rhino win the British title.
Commonwealth.
Sorry, Commonwealth. Yeah, he won't win the British title now. Huey Fury's got it. But
yeah, that's a nightmare.
Well, he hasn't got it yet, but yeah. I want to see Dave Allen win the Commonwealth title. I think I would have beaten Lenroy Thomas if it wasn't for that horrible cut.
Deeply saddening.
If some butts in sport, one of them. I also can't see Dave Allen defeating Joe Joyce. So this could be the end of the road for Dave.
So let's hope Joe wins the title and vacates it, because I'd love nothing more than to see Dave Allen pick up a major title.
Or let's hope Lenroy Thomas somehow shit out his way to sort of like another huge cut or something like that.
Another draw on the record. What a great draw for Lenroy Thomas had to be. Wasn't it great?
The boxing version of Simon Grayson.
But in all seriousness, it's fantastic. With these Olympians, I struggle to sort of connect to Olympians because they fight so many terrible fighters, all on Sky, and you have to put up with them on undercards, and you don't really get interested. I'm not saying I've connected with Joe's personality, but I'm certainly interested in his journey because he's taken on challenging tasks so early. It's only his 4th fight, and I think that will be the quickest anybody's picked up the Commonwealth heavyweight title.
Yeah, I don't know that for sure, but yes, it will be in that fray, won't it? In that mix.
Anyway, this would have been a weekend of super fights had Canelo Alvarez not failed a drug test, but he has. So Golovkin's taken on Vanes Martirosyan. Probably an easy fight for him. I would have liked to have seen a Sergey Deveryentrenko or a Demetrius Andrade, but it wasn't to be. Is Golovkin to blame, or does he just have to get a fight in quickly?
Well, he's not to blame at all. That Canelo clown's to blame.
Do you see this weekend being at all competitive, or just a very steady, simple win for Golovkin before a big fight in September?
I don't see it at all being competitive, no. I think it'll be a KO.
Good luck to Golovkin. Anyway, he's not British, he's Ghanaian, but I'm sort of claiming him as one of our own because he's from
Kingston. Sorry.
It's not Kofi Kingston. He's from Kensington. It's Isaac Dogboe. He was 5-1 to beat Jesse Magdaleno at the weekend. Jesse, a big puncher from Mexico. Top rank have really got behind him in the States. And he was taking on Isaac in Philadelphia. So a big journey for Isaac. But he proved the whole world wrong. He got knocked down in the 1st round, but came back. Knocked Jesse down in the 5th round. And won over the... he stopped Jesse in the 11th, I believe. And Isaac is the only champion at the moment from Ghana. Congratulations for Isaac. An inspirational win. Fairy tale stuff. He used to train in Kensington Parks with his dad and people would think he was mad. But he wasn't. He had the talent. He's won a world title. And isn't it fantastic to see how somebody who's been written off so much can go down early in a fight and still come back and win?
Yeah, they're out for the best fights. And when you go down and come back to win, it shows real heart. And that's what I love. You know what I also love? Great names. Isaac Dogbone.
Dogboe.
Dogbone.
Thank you very much for that banter. Anyway, somebody who went down but unfortunately couldn't get back up to win the fight. Bradley Skeet went down 3 times in Bilbao at the weekend. Kerman-Leharger, who was relatively unknown before this weekend, entered the ring in Bilbao to roars from his Atletico Bilbao hooligan fans, and he walked through Bradley Skeet inside 2. Surprise result?
I was surprised to see it be over it so early. I would have liked Skeet to win, but I can't say I've lost too much sleep over the weekend over it. Yeah, it looked like a rum affair, didn't it, in Bilbao?
Yeah, it really was. The crowd really was raucous, to say the least. Yeah.
Which is good to see.
Yeah. Oh, the atmosphere looked absolutely fantastic. So
we've given a lot over years with like Hit Manhattan and stuff like that, and Joshua currently, all those casuals going after that.
The only way is Essex lot heading up to Joshua fights.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Bradley unfortunately seems somewhat overawed by the atmosphere, and also just couldn't take the power of Kerman-Leharger, who's now the European Championship and champion, and will hope to move on to world level. It's just a shame that he's in such a tough division with the likes of Spence, Crawford, Thurman, etc. Anyway, a little small horse show that I'm going to give a little bit of coverage to this weekend. Tommy Langford takes on Jason Welburn, and I'm going to give this coverage because the press conference made me laugh. This has been billed as the Battle of the Baggies. 2 West Brom fans. Tommy was saying stuff to Jason at the press conference like, nobody sees you at the games, Jason. You're not a real West Brom fan. Jason replied and said, Tommy, you were born in Devon. And Tommy was livid. So Tommy's looking to take off Jason Welburn's head this weekend in the battle of the West Bromwich Albion fans.
I personally don't think. I don't blame Jason for not wearing on West Brom at the moment. They're absolutely abysmal.
They may be. But a true fan stays on.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I've seen some shite on North over the years.
So yeah, Tommy probably should win that and defend his British title for the second time and then look to move on. Anyway, Eddie Hearn's second show in America. First of all, how do you think Eddie's doing out there? Adrian Broner versus Jesse Vargas got 13,000 at the Barclays Centre the week before. This week, Hearn only got 7,000 fans in. Are you worried for his career in America, or just sort of think that this is very early days and he'll take over the US, similar to how he's taken over the UK?
He won't take over the US unless AJ stays unbeaten and goes out there. But no, I'd be surprised if he did take over the US. It's such a hard place to conquer. There's only one Brit I can name who actually has conquered the US, and that's Leona Lewis.
She keeps bleeding. She keeps bleeding love. Anyway, Danny Jacobs took on Maked Shaletsky. Of course, Danny, some people view him as the best middleweight in the world. I'm probably one of them. I thought he did enough to beat Gennady Golovkin that night, but he didn't get the decision. I think there's an issue here that he was struggling to get up to the fight, but that's not an excuse, as he was in too close for comfort. Shaletsky really did a good job in that fight, and you could argue Jacobs only sort of won it with a knockdown and maybe a few big performances in the last couple of rounds. I think Jacobs needs big fights now to get motivated. He deserves another shot, Golovkin or Canelo, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely needs to get back up to that level. He's a better fighter than Canelo at the moment, because Canelo's taking drugs, and Jacobs gave a hell of a far better performance against Golovkin than Canelo did. But obviously the politics in boxing obtained Canelo that D on his record.
Yeah, you're not wrong. There is a hint of clenbuterol flowing around the system of Saul Canelo Alvarez.
And Sol Campbell.
I don't know how much clenbuterol Saul Campbell takes, but I'd imagine quite a lot. Yeah. Anyway, Jarrell Miller. Big baby, the 304-pound heavyweight, over 21 stone. Firstly, is that just too big for a heavyweight? Considering he's only 6'3".
No.
Why is that? It's a lot of weight. It's a hell of a lot of weight.
It is a lot of weight. If you're carrying a lot of weight and knocking people out,
he isn't now. He's going the distance.
Well, look, if you can go the distance carrying that much weight without necessarily blowing out your arse and make it to world level, you're doing something okay, aren't you?
He defeated Joan Duapas. And he's now, I think, ranked number 2 in the WBA. He's going to get his shot eventually at Anthony Joshua Deontay Wilder. He's an extremely good trash talker, Jarrell Miller, so I'd like to see him get his shot purely because I think the press conference will be entertaining. I think he said he was going to smoke that English crumpet when referring to Anthony Joshua.
Talk about crumpets. Crumpets in fucking ages.
Really, really sad for you. I don't think I've ever eaten a crumpet. I don't know why it's so associated with our country.
No, I like a crumpet. Well, I like them once in a while. I don't like a crumpet.
You don't like regular crumpets, you just like the occasional crumpet.
I like a crumpet when you're not necessarily expecting a crumpet. Like,
Just a crumpet to hit you out the blue.
Like, let's say it's weekend and you're waking up about 9:30 and you go down to the bread bin to find crumpets in there. You think, oh, you know what? I really fancy a crumpet.
So Helen Salisbury regularly picks up crumpets, does
No,
she?
not regularly. Hence
Oh, it's just every now and again.
Yeah.
It's like
and that's why it's a nice surprise, you know. A nice crumpet, hot, with
hot.
butter, you know.
Would you like a hint of jam with that crumpet?
No,
or?
no
Jam, just butter.
No jam, just butter with crumpet. 3 or 4 crumpets.
3 or 4?
Lathered in butter. Yeah, good once in a while.
I'm a croissant man myself. I like jam and a croissant.
I'm pretty sure you voted Brexit as well, didn't you?
I didn't vote. Actually, could we even vote then?
No.
We were younger.
We were just under that age requirement.
Oh yeah, moving on back to Gerald Miller. He's going to be getting his shot.
He probably eats a lot of crumpets.
Yeah. How do you feel maybe a 7-stone weight advantage over, say, Deontay Wilder would help out Gerald?
It's hard to say. Personally, I don't think it would help him necessarily to get near Wilder. I don't know.
He's probably the physically strongest man in that. Well, not necessarily physically strong, but it's tough to push back a man who weighs 300 pounds.
It is, yeah.
I personally feel Gerald, when he gets to that world level, will be found wanting. I feel his guard's too leaky, and at that top division, when you've got the likes of Wilder and Joshua punching you in the face, it's tough to stay conscious.
Yeah.
Hey, Katie Taylor has unified the division. She's defeated Bustos. Are you interested?
I can't believe you're giving coverage to it. It's a load of utter bollocks.
Yeah, that's blatant sexism again from Adam. Personally,
you've literally made exactly the same comments in the past as well.
look, my issue with women's boxing is that there's no depth. So there's nobody I really want to see Katie Taylor fight. She's gone into unifications and she's 1 to 100 on. So it's tough to get inspired for those matchups.
It's tough to get inspired for not necessarily us, but also for young females. Because it's just so bland and boring. Which you agree with, but you're not going to wear that sexism, so to speak, on air. I personally don't think it is sex.
I've never campaigned for Katie Taylor. Anyway, lastly, moving on to the darts. I know it's a bit late, but we didn't get to cover it last week. What did you make of the reception Raymond van Barneveld got in Rotterdam?
Absolutely electrifying, and his performances matched it. It was tremendous. So well done, Barney.
Yep, the Barney army out in full force in that sea of orange. They really get behind him. Anyway, the Premier League took to Manchester this week. Michael Smith defeated Peter Wright 7-1, and Peter Wright's campaign is over. Is that saddening considering how well he did last year?
It is. He also been coming in, this is the champion, but you can't take anything away from the other players, really. Michael Smith has had a tremendous campaign up to now and absolutely murdered Peter Wright. He's a class act, Smith.
Daryl Gurney kept his Premier League playoffs hopes just about alive as he drew 6-6 to Michael van Gerwen.
Yes, and it was a real gutsy performance from the Northern Irishman. MVG looked like he was going to run away with that game, but Gurney kept pulling him back, and eventually got that illustrious point.
Yep. After a few hard weeks and also going out the Premier League, you wouldn't have been surprised if Simon had just sort of given up, but he hasn't. He was working hard and he managed to pick up a 7-5 victory over the Flying Scotsman's Gary Anderson.
He did, and not many people beat Anderson, especially in the mood that he's been in recent weeks, and Whitlock picking up a vital 2 points, so well done to the big Aussie. He comes from a land down under.
Yeah. Raymond van Barneveld very nearly kept his playoff hopes alive, but unfortunately he got the draw and he needed a win. Rob Cross has knocked him out of the competition.
Well, absolute class at Rob Cross. Raymond's coming to a bit of form at the moment, but that form tends not to be good enough to beat Rob Cross over that short format. Rob Cross is absolutely fantastic over that short format. He loves the doubles. He never misses. So if you get down before him, you have to hit first time. And if you don't, voltage is going to punish you. He'll electrocute you.
He's feeling hot, hot, hot. Anyway, Michael Smith started the evening with a great 7-1 win over Peter Wright. He finished it with a terrible 7-1 loss to Michael van Gerwen, who's now well ahead at the top of the Premier League table.
He did, obviously. MVG angry after only drawing to Dalgerney and took all of his anger out on the man from St Helens. He really did pummel Michael Smith. But let's be honest, it's hard to play twice in a night. Smith obviously played first and then last. He couldn't switch off. So yeah, it's just one of them. But MVG went balls deep.
And I'll tell you who else went balls deep, and that's Prince William, as Kate Middleton appears to be popping out real babies every other week.
What a fantastic cue that was, and it wasn't even rehearsed. So yeah, I had a little play on this. I went for Albert to be the name of the child. I got it at 6-1, and I had 5 English sterling on this. And it came into 2-5 on.
Hold on, wait. Has the name been announced?
Yes.
Right, hold on. I'm going to take a gamble. Terence.
No. Yeah, so I went for Albert. 2-5. It went into on the morning that it got announced. I was getting excited, but no.
It's Reginald.
It's Elton. It's Louis.
Louis. That's uninspiring.
The royal family might as well be giving wanker signs to the 52% of the population that voted Brexit. They've given a royal a French name. I've got a lot of time for it. And it's a family I've got no time for.
So you're not a royalist? What?
You know,
why ever's
well,
that?
I'm not a royalist.
Well, of course I know, but I'm giving a bit of context to the viewer. You've got some disgusting views on the Queen, and I've had to hear them.
I haven't got disgusting views on the Queen.
You're a man who wanted to do a public hanging of the Queen to bring money into the economy. You disgust me.
No, that's just a point to belittle the point that the royal family bring in money.
Honestly, I think that brings in more money than a public hanging.
Well,
but anyway, go on. Why don't you like the...
Could you imagine like the British Revolution, like and all that, and then have hanging on the side, like pack out
hanging on the side.
Pack out like Ewood Park or St James.
We're taking this to Blackburn.
Well, we need to take it to the
other
areas.
Yeah.
And really bring in economy into
but
those.
we can't hang the Queen. I've said
Let's
this to you before.
charge a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, what are you going to charge the Queen with to hang her?
No, the Queen's getting hung.
No, we can't hang the Queen.
It's a revolution. Look, I have no problem with the Queen if she was elected. But the Queen isn't elected.
Okay. So I think we can get rid
as
of the
far as
royal
I go-
family, but I can't justify hanging anyone, never mind the Queen.
Well, why? Because it brings in money. But anyway,
She hasn't committed a crime.
I clearly don't want the Queen to be hung. What I do want is the Queen to stand in an election. Good luck.
I'll be honest, I won't want David Cameron as our king.
Well, no, we're not, but the Queen would obviously win with an absolute landslide. I think I'd even vote for the Queen over David Cameron as our president.
Our president?
Well, yeah, that's head of state, isn't it, in America?
Okay. Anyway, a topic that's sort of, I suppose, fight sport related. Have you seen? Well, you have seen the Let's Fucking Have It video.
Let's fucking have it. Yes, absolutely brilliant video, yeah. Really enjoy it. Looks a bit like Michael Jackson in his black days, no racial
In his
intended.
why couldn't you just say his younger days?
Well, because it's...
Yeah, but people know his transition of...
Look, it doesn't matter if you're black or white, James.
I don't know whether to give you credit for that or not.
I would. It was a thriller of a line.
So, anyway, yeah. So this kid, they've sort of had this argument. These two young scousers, and one's accused the other of saying mean stuff to his sister.
Chatting shit to my sister, lad.
It's sort of the trend. Anyway, so this lad says,
Let's have it.
you know, that word. I think we could probably edit that in. So this is what he sounds like.
Let's have it.
And then he gets in a headlock, and then he says it again.
Let me get up. Let's have it.
And then he's thrown away, having just received a beating, and once again says,
Let's fucking have it.
let's fucking have it. So, quite an entertaining video.
However, I've seen the video after the video stopped, and let's fucking have it.
Let's fucking have it.
Let's fucking have it.
Let's fucking have it. It's the most feminine let's fucking have it I've ever seen.
Yeah, however,
It sort of feels like Ryland's having a scrap with Louis Walsh.
it turns out that Michael Jackson won that fight in the end. And the follow-up,
What happened in the
Version.
follow-up video?
well, it's just the other gentleman sort of on the floor after receiving a hiding, and the Michael Jackson impersonator walking around, sort of thinking he's hard.
Anyway, got to give a very quick plug to a game that I've just finished. It's called A Way Out. It's new. It's about two convicts who are in prison together and join forces in trying to escape to hunt down a man who killed one of their brothers and double-cross the other one. It's a fully cooperative game where you have to play the whole thing with two people. So a lovely experience for friends or brothers to play together.
Sounds like the plot of Prison Break.
It probably has hints of Prison Break. They break out of prison. But in bulk, it's about their journey outside the prison. So it's a lovely game.
Prison Break.
And there's a few... I thought Prison Break was mostly inside the prison.
No, it's only one series inside the prison, and then it's a couple of series of them on the run, and then the main protagonist ends up in another prison, and his brother, who he went into prison to get him out.
Yeah. Prison Break's back now, isn't it?
Well, yeah. And then there's another series coming, but no, I'm a big Prison Break man. In fact, I'm going to start it again. I'm going to watch it again.
I hope you enjoy that.
Thank you.
I really hope you enjoy that. Personally watched Prison Break. Struggled to get into it, but each to his own. Yeah, A Way Out, great game. Highly recommend it. A lot of twists and turns, you never know exactly where it's going. Anyway, as a fan of Supermarket Sweep, I'm going to let you say a word or two on the late Dale Winton.
It's fair to say that every time I'm in a supermarket nowadays, when I hear that beep, you know, it really does bring a tear to my eye to a certain extent, because it was a huge part of my childhood on Challenge with Supermarket Sweep. Lines like "Let's go wild in the aisles" and stuff like that. Really got me excited as a youngster, and I used to really enjoy watching Dale Winton on the TV. So yeah, it was heartbreaking to receive the news that he'd passed away. So rest in peace, Dale Winton.
Yeah, another one who unfortunately passed away, Vern Troyer, Mini-Me from Austin Powers, and is featured regularly on... I know he was on the Keith Lemon movie. There's a lovely little fact for you. Yeah, he's unfortunately passed away as well, alongside Avicii, the Swedish DJ. And I'm led to believe that suicide's involved in these cases, and which is obviously a huge issue for men really in this country, that they don't feel they have anyone to speak to. So it's just a shame that's the case. Ultimately, I feel people worry about the stigma associated around depression and then don't feel the need to talk about it. I think really when somebody hears that somebody's got depression, their natural instinct is to help and support that person. So my sort of advice to anybody listening who is going through a tough time is just to talk about it, and then everyone will be there for you. Nobody looks down on you, everyone looks out for you, ultimately.
Great words.
Thank you. Anyway, to finish off the show, of course, we have a great fight this weekend with Tony Bellew and David Haye. I'd like Tony to win the fight. He's proved people wrong before. I think he can do it again. Good luck, Tony. Zedcast to finish it off. Thank you for listening this week. Goodbye.
Cheers for listening. I'd also like Haye to win the fight, by the way. But yeah, whatever.
Zedcast, goodbye.